Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 259 of The Willow Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today I want to talk about merchandise, the merch table. Before I get into all that, I got to say I got a couple new shirts here to add to my Willow Show Wall of Fame. First of all, I want to send a big thank you out to Wade Buswell. He got this shirt personally made for me because he knew that Jake the Snake Roberts was my favorite wrestler. So he got the trading card on there, and I'm just blown away. Thanks so much, man. I'm speechless. As you maybe can tell, I lost my voice from yelling at the crowd in Guelph and Kitchener Friday and Saturday night. But yeah, I'm gonna hang it right up here, and I'm happy to have it. And then I got another good one to add to the collection. Probably my favorite wrestler right now in the world. The Walking Weapon Boot Camp Josh Alexander shirt. It says, Walking Weapon Boot Camp, intensity, velocity, experience, power. And anyone that gets into the ring with him is definitely going to boot camp. And I'm honored to hang this on my wall as well. Make sure to pick one of these up if you get a chance. $20, well worth it. He's also got the Indie Riffic shirt. So this is what I'm talking about, merchandise. If you're a fan of wrestling, which I am, how much merchandise have you acquired over the years? Some people, like my friend, had like every single wrestling figure, and I never had a lot of figures. I was more into the posters. Um, Sometimes the WWF magazine would have posters where you get a special two posters, and the only thing that sucked about it was it'd be two, but one on each side. And like as I remember, I had this Undertaker one, and I liked them both so much, so I would switch it every other couple days because I just loved them both so much. And then sometimes they would have offers where you could send away for posters. So I had a bunch of posters, and then in my teenage years, when I was spending money on a lot of other stuff, I would just get every wrestling magazine I could and cut out the pictures. And my wall, I'll try and find a picture of it. My bedroom wall was just like covered with magazine pictures. But I never spent a lot of money on figures. I had a few shirts, like these ones are all from my childhood. The Vader one, the Austin one, NWO. I had a Rock one, another Stone Cold one. I really like the shirts. I had like when I was real younger, I had one of those Paul Bear foam urns, but it just kept getting ripped, and one of the dogs wrecked it. A couple other things like that, just some little things, nothing really fancy. Um, but everything cost so much to send away for, so I never really had that much wrestling merchandise. And then as far as personally myself, I've only ever actually sold two merchandise items. This was the first in 2007. Warhead got it made up for me, and a bag of these got stolen from Elements nightclub. Only about six people ever ended up with the shirts. I have one, my sister has one, Eddie Osborne. Warhead said he kept one for himself. And someone stole a garbage bag full of Cuba shirts. And like, what do they do with them? Is there like a whole bunch of homeless people downtown Kitchener wearing Cuba shirts? I haven't seen them end up in Value Village yet. What would anybody want with a bag full of Cuba shirts? Is blown away. My mom and my sister got me like one shirt that they made for me for one Christmas. It was like he conquered the ocean, now he's conquering wrestling. That I still have. It's a little faded though. That they got made up from one of those stands in the mall, make your shirt kind of thing. And then this one, which thanks to Lenny Lilac and Trace's screen printing, Lenny's brother designed it for me, and I loved it. This one's all sold out. Um, I want to get another batch made. It makes me so happy when I go to the shows. In Guelph, two people were wearing my shirt. In Kitchener, there was three or four, maybe five people wearing my shirt. It always lights me a big smile on my face when I see people wearing my shirt. And yeah, these all sold out. I sold out a batch of I believe it was 48 of them. And I have requests that people still want the shirt, but because it's Christmas time, I don't really have the money to put out for shirts. But in the new year, I'll definitely get some made up. My experiences with selling merchandise and stuff, I went on this one tour and I sold these little black and white photos of me for $5, and I did pretty good on that. But I was never a big merch guy. I never thought that I really had the fan base to sell merch, and merch wasn't a really huge thing when I broke in. It's becoming now everyone has a shirt, but I found I was getting popular in the last couple of years, and I felt it was time to get a shirt to represent me, and people loved it, and it did really well. Um, Now, when you go to the shows, a lot of people are selling merchandise, which is usually consists of, for the wrestlers, they just have shirts or sometimes the photos. And then a lot of people are selling like wrestling figures and stuff as well. You get some vendors that'll come there too, or sometimes one of the boys will just pay the promoter to let him sell his stuff, or sometimes they just put it out there and then hope they don't get in trouble for it. And so what I just want to hear, what's your thoughts with merchandise? What kind of merchandise have you acquired over the year? What's your collection like? Or if you're involved in wrestling, have you ever attempted to sell merchandise? Did it do well? Or do you still have 100 shirts up in your attic that never sold? Like, what's your experiences with it? And maybe you have some advice or some things to say, like, hey, you got to sell things. Like, the kids don't have $20 to buy a shirt, and their parents don't really want us. They already paid for the wrestling tickets and the popcorn and everything else, and they're happy like to get a picture with the wrestler and a free autograph. So if you had something maybe for $5 to sell, they might be able to buy that. But a lot of the kids, their parents aren't going to be spending $20, especially if they have two kids. That's $40 plus the tickets, plus the popcorn, plus however they're getting there. So I find, like for me, most of my fan base is kids. So I got a whole bunch of kid sizes made out, or more than large ones. And then I was so surprised. All the adult sizes sold out way faster than the kids ones. But then I realized that's because the kids don't have money. It's up, they gotta beg their parents. But so what's your experiences on the Willow Show? I always like to hear the comments. So like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba.